Hi everyone, welcome to the Pick a Card series. This is Green Aventurine Tarot and I'm Gigi. I'm happy you're here. All right, the question today is how can I be more creative? All right, I've got 4 piles to choose from. Pile number 1 is yes, definitely. Pile number 2 is of course. Pile number 3 is it is certain. And pile number 4 is looks like yes. All right, and so today I'm using some fun music cards. I'm using a deck and some beautiful oracle cards. The deck is right here. It's called the New Wave Tarot. So we're going to dip into some new wave artists and their songs as our inspiration. All right, and I'll have timestamps below. And the question again is, how can I be more creative? All right, if you picked pile 1, let's get started. All right, so how can I be more creative? All right, the first card is the Strength card, and it's symbolized by the Yazoo Band, and they created a song called Only You from the early 80s. The second card is the Receptivity card, and that's symbolized by a cute kitty cat. And the third card here is the Chariot. And the fourth card is the Nine of Pentacles. All right, so it feels like, how can I be more creative? Well, the story around this band is both of these artists, it only had 2 people in this band. And one of them was from another band called Depeche Mode. And when they became very famous, he dropped out. His name was Clark. And he began this band with a female singer, and her name is Alison Moyer. And what I love about this is they both were very different. He was into like synthesizers and very much that 80s sound, and she has a very sultry soul voice and a very deep voice. And the combination created this amazing, beautiful song called Only You. And they do have some other hits. But what I like about the Strength card is that it's almost like their songs are more important in the world of music than the actual band. Their songs sort of live forever. And I find that her musical style was so different than what she's famous for. And then she went on to do more songs on her own, of course, and he went on to do lots of other things. But what I like about this is it's very much the Strength card. It symbolizes 2 people coming together with very different ideas about music and what they like. But what they did was they came up with this magical alchemy by finding this balance. And it really is kind of an amazing lesson for all of us. So it kind of feels like being receptive to things you normally wouldn't say yes to could really help you tap into your creativity. All right. And then with this beautiful cat receptivity card, it feels like there might be people out there, something sparking your creativity that you normally wouldn't dip into. So be open to new places and new people that will give you inspiration to spark your creativity. All right. And then with this Chariot card, it feels like, again, we have this balance of 2 different things coming together to move forward and kind of working inside of yourself and learning to sort of navigate the 2 different parts of yourself, sort of introvert, extrovert, lazy and athletic, whatever that balance is, finding that to really see the duality of that coming together to create something. All right. And then with this Nine of Pentacles, it feels like this will really pay off. So thinking out of the box and really allowing yourself, maybe collaborate with another person you wouldn't even think of, or get an idea from a type of creativity that you normally don't get your ideas from. So if you're a musician, maybe trying some painting or sketching or writing, or crafts. And then that can spark you with your creative self with music. And just the opposite, if you are a visual artist, maybe listening to music that you normally wouldn't listen to sort of tap into that creative energy in order to go forward. Yes, I think this is a great lesson for all of us. So what's interesting about this is this sort of lesson of being creative, and it can last a very long time. So something you hadn't even thought of, you could really tap into and have that drive you forward and to really tap in. So think out of the box, look at things you wouldn't normally think of for your creative inspiration. All right, thanks for picking pile 1, which is yes, definitely. All right, if you picked pile 2, which is yes, of course, let's get started. All right, so tapping into your creativity here. Okay, we have the Queen of Air, which is symbolized by the artist Lena Lovitch. We have the Blue Jay, which symbolizes resourcefulness. We have the Eight of Pentacles. And we have the Moon card. All right. So, okay. So I think what strikes me with this, the first thing I think of is Lena Lovitch. She is an American-born singer and artist and performance artist. And she's considered really out there, like really interesting, fun. There's nothing else that sounds like her. So if you look her up, she's really trippy. And if you know of her, you know what I'm saying. And she is an American who moved to England and then spent a lot of time in Germany. And that's where she collaborated with a lot of other artists. And she also did a lot of performance art. And you can see that in the way that she sings, and her visual presentation is really cool. She's sort of almost pre-punk and pre-new wave. She came about in the mid-70s, kind of that sort of where performance art meets music. And she almost has like a circus kind of quality, very interesting artist. But I think what I like about the Queen of Air energy with her is she's always putting things out there, and she doesn't really care about how it will be received. And I like that quality. It's something that I strive for. She really does love sort of expressing herself, and she is sort of a one-of-a-kind artist. And I think that is something we can walk away from with tapping into our creativity. All right. And then with this Blue Jay card, this resourcefulness, it feels like there is something inside of you. You really do have this sort of quality where you can make your creativity shine. It's tapping in to maybe the everyday sort of quality, and in that, finding your creative path. There could be something about it. Maybe you're afraid to show something that you're very creative about inside, but you're self-censoring yourself because you're worried about what others might feel. But think of Lena Lovitch. Think of that very quirky, who cares, I'm going to express myself the way I want to, very much an artist's artist. So tap into that resourcefulness in yourself and really do listen to what your body and your mind want to express with your creativity. All right. And then with this Eight of Pentacles, what I'm hearing with that is do it with bravery, do it with a brave heart, and do it to the best of your abilities. Super creative card. This is really nose to the grindstone. So it's a combination of working hard at whatever this is, but then also doing it with your own sort of resourcefulness. Not really caring what the outside world cares about. Whatever you do, do it bravely and do it and just go forward with it. All right. And with the Moon card, It feels like there could be something that you want to reveal and that you've been very timid with showing the world or expressing. And it feels like this is your time. Whatever you've been sort of keeping under wraps, this is your time to unveil it. All right. So I like that. And really expressing things, because you'd be surprised the more you express things that maybe people are afraid to talk about, and really express that in either music or visual arts, whatever it is, that is something that I think a lot of people will really want to hear and really want to tap into. But don't do it for other people, do it for yourself. Absolutely. All right. And really tap into your own inner resources and express yourself, even if it seems absurd or silly or bizarre, do it anyway. Okay? Creativity is not, it doesn't have to be something that you have to worry about, will this sell or will this be digestible for other people? Do it for yourself. All right. Thank you for picking pile 2, which is of course. All right. If you picked pile 3, which is it is certain, let's get started. All right. What do I need to do to be more creative? All right. Well, first we have the Lovers card. Then we have the Polar Bear, which symbolizes powerful allies. Then we have the Sun card. And then we have the Nine of Wands. All right. So tapping into your creativity, let's look at the Lovers. This is Sweet Dreams Are Made of This, and that was a big hit for the Eurythmics. This is a 2-person band, and they were always very, very connected. I believe they were connected romantically, but then they decided to shift gears and be a wonderful band. And they both came from really great backgrounds as far as musical tastes, and very talented and creative. But it was interesting. They always had this vision. They funded a lot of their music on their own. And that's, again, what became very famous. This song, Sweet Dreams Are Made of This. And this came out, I think, in the early 80s. Could have been 82 or 83. And what was beautiful about this was it didn't sound like anything else. It didn't sound, it of course had lots of synthesizers, because this is a new wave reading. But what I love about it is her music, her voice is very haunting. And he matched the synthesizer to really match her voice. So the end result was this beautiful kind of haunting sound that had a great beat. And then what I think what's important about this card with the Lovers is that they came together and they created something as allies, and they really went forward. And then from this great sort of beautiful, loving connection full of talent, they then became this sort of force to be reckoned with, and lots of other people wanted to join in with them, and they've gone on to do their own things, and they're really interesting. But what I love about it also is that by following their own dream, they really became more than the 2 parts on their own. So this Lovers is really saying to me, with creativity, to collaborate. Find someone who believes in you and who is really willing to help you with your creativity. So collaboration is key with this one, okay? And then with this Polar Bear energy, which is the powerful allies, what I love about this is it feels like there are people out there who want to see or hear what you're creating. All right. And so there are people out there that will support you and really want to be tapped into this creative energy. So allow some people in on your process. And then with this Sun card, it feels like once you have that collaboration and that connection with others, then it radiates. Then it becomes more important than what the original idea is. It almost feels like once you let some people in and you illuminate them to your ideas, then it turns into magic. and it really becomes even more of a process that you didn't even know that it could happen. It just sort of morphs into this beautiful thing. And then with this Nine of Swords, it's really saying to let go of distraction, let go of the sort of chatter in your mind that's saying, no, I can't do this, I'm not creative enough, or I'm not this enough. You have that inside of you. So let go of people, places, and things that are distracting you and minimizing your creativity, all right? Because you have this creative side. You just have to be around energies that will support your creative process. So with this pile, I would say collaboration, and that will create more illumination with finding your creative path. All right. Thanks for picking pile 3, which is It Is Certain. All right. If you picked pile 4, which is Looks Like Yes, let's get started. All right. We have the Fool card. We have the Monkey card, which symbolizes laughter. We have the Hanged Man. And we have the Emperor. All right. So, okay, tapping into your creativity. So with the Fool card, it's the Devo card. And Devo is kind of one of the earlier bands. They came out, I think, in 1980, but they were together and collaborating in the mid-70s. But from a kid in the suburbs, which I was, I discovered them probably 1980, 1981, somewhere around there, with their big hit, Whip It. But from that, what I learned was that there was this whole world out there, which is really interesting, of artists that didn't care about success. And I think that's what I love about this Fool card and what it symbolizes. In fact, the more successful they became, the less they wanted fame. They wanted to just produce things that created almost like fine art or really interesting plays and theater. They wanted people to have a reaction from their work. They had a lot of social commentary. They had a lot of sort of a take on what the world was like at that time. And they really did present it visually and with music. And they were a very interesting band. And I definitely encourage you to tap into their canon of music. It's pretty trippy. And they had really great visuals. They wore these strange suits and these strange hats because they wanted to create an image of something that was absurd and bizarre, kind of like talking about the world, really, how they felt in the world. They felt like misfits in the world. And their music was really fascinating. And they've reinvented themselves quite a few times, but they have moved on. And they're very interesting guys. Yeah, I think they're now in their 60s, and they're just fascinating. But anyway, so the Fool card really does feel, as far as tapping into your creativity, I think wanting to make some sort of statement. I think that there is a statement inside of you. You really want to put something out there, maybe about what's going on in the world, maybe about what's going on in your particular culture. There is something very absurd that you'd like to show the world with this. And that's what I love about Devo, is they really taught a lot of us who weren't exposed to that genre of music, really the absurdity of the world. It was interesting, very interesting. And then with the Monkey card and laughter, you've got to do this, of course, with a sense of humor, because that's what makes it so great. You know, people really get it when you talk about social commentary or whatever it is that you want to show. Do it with a smile and a laugh, because it really does show people, they get it, that things are so absurd. You have to laugh, you know? And then with this Hanged Man, I think that your creativity is going to show people a different point of view. I think your point of view is interesting and worth it. So definitely show your point of view. It's unique and it's beautiful. So that may really help you tap into your creativity. It's almost like you can't be normal even if you tried. So go ahead and show who you are. All right. And then with the Emperor card, kind of back to the Devo energy, it feels like this is something you can expose, kind of power systems or things that are unfair or unjust in the world, and doing it with your own particular brand. Yeah, I think that's beautiful, and really showing the world the absurdity and the sort of hilarity at what we're all doing, we call culture, society, whatever, and the things that maybe are contradictory that we don't even see. And I think you can really expose that and show that through your body of work. So allow yourself to be different and allow yourself to not worry about being popular, not worrying about what other people may think or not think, but do it just for the sake of creating art and creating something. All right. And also showing your point of view, because that's really important. I see that energy here, and doing it with a total laugh, or letting us all laugh at the absurdity of whatever it is. All right. Thank you for picking pile 4, which is looks like yes. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope this sparked your creativity, and I hope you go forth and prosper. All right. Thank you so much. And please like, share, and subscribe. That helps a lot. Take care.